Hi everyone, I'm Lorraine from Simply English Edinburgh. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to look at some C1 and C2 level expressions with the verb take. Now there's a lot of great content on here from other teachers using this verb, so I'm going to kind of look at some of the more obscure expressions, so hopefully you'll be able to learn something new today. So here are my top 10. Let's get started. The first expression is to take its toll on someone or something, and this basically means to have a negative or an adverse effect on you or on an object. So for example, years of smoking really took its toll on his lungs. So his lungs were negatively impacted from a long period of smoking. Or for instance, driving 500 kilometers per week for many years really took its toll on my car. So again, that kind of long distance driving over a long period of time would have a negative impact. Now, one of my students pointed out the other day that you can also say take a toll on rather than take its toll on. So if you like that tip, you can thank Carlos. My second one today is to take someone or something for granted. I think I've spoken about this one in a video before, and this one means to underappreciate or undervalue someone or something. So teenagers sometimes take their parents for granted. You know, they're living at home, all their meals are being cooked. They don't have to do too much, but they don't appreciate it because that's the way their lives have been, and until they go out into the real world, they don't know that the struggle is real. Adult life is hard, and they take that for granted. And I think I've also mentioned before on my Instagram that we really took our freedom for granted before COVID. So yeah, underappreciate or undervalue something. The next one today is to take someone or something at face value, and this one basically means to trust someone or to trust something without any further investigation. So it would be like if I'm going to hire a teacher and the teacher said, I have 3 years of experience, and if I did not check that, if I didn't investigate or look for references, maybe I would just take them at face value. Well, they said they have 3 years of experience. I trust that that is true. And that is the case as well when we're shopping online, particularly for second-hand objects. If you read the listing, you trust the listing, and you just buy the product without ever seeing it, maybe you take the product or you take the description at face value. You're going to buy it without checking or investigating further. I mean, that can be good because it usually means you're a trusting person, but you know, sometimes that can be a bad thing as well. The next expression today is to take matters into your own hands. Now, this one basically means that a problem has not been dealt with correctly by the relevant authorities, and therefore you have decided that you are going to get your own justice or your own result or answers. So for instance, if the council have been promising to fix a road outside your house, the road has potholes, it has damage, there have been empty promises about it being fixed, they do nothing about it, maybe the neighbourhood would decide to take matters into their own hands and hire a company and get it fixed. And you often hear about this with relation to crime as well. If the police have been unable to solve crimes, maybe a family would take matters into their own hands and hire a private investigation team. The next expression today is to take something to heart. And this happens to a lot of people, myself included. If you take criticism to heart, it means that you take that criticism personally. Maybe you think about it a lot because it has hurt you, it has upset you. So it's very common for people to say if they get feedback at work, don't take this feedback to heart. Do not take it personally. Don't overthink it. Don't let it upset you. Again, if people say things in the heat of the moment in an argument, maybe people argue and they say nasty things to each other. You know, it's bad, but you can't take all of those things to heart. You can't get really upset about them because they were said in a moment and perhaps they were not meant as badly as they sounded at the time. My next expression today is to take something on board. Now, this is a really good one. It basically means that you try to accept or you try to understand something, even if it's not exactly what you want to hear. So for instance, as a business owner, if you put out a product that you think is of great quality at a great price, and actually the feedback that you're getting from your customers is that, well, it could do with some improvement in this area, or the price point isn't exactly right. Well, you know, it's not what you want to hear because you think you've created a great product, but you definitely need to take this feedback on board, meaning you need to accept your customers' points of view, their opinions, and learn from them and grow. And that's how you're going to get better. So to take something on board is to accept or to understand, even when it's not exactly what you want. And definitely I've been in that position as well before, where, you know, you hear things from your students, you know, I think, you know, you've put together a great class, and then they say, well, we need more of this and more of that. Definitely, in order to grow as a professional, you need to take other people's opinions and points of view on board. My next expression today is to take something lying down, or often used in the negative, actually, not to take something lying down. And if you take something lying down, it means you just accept that, well, something negative has happened and you can't do anything about it. If you don't take something lying down, it means you decide, well, this is really negative, but we're going to fight against this. Basically, you're not going to just lie down and be passive and do nothing. You're going to rise up, you're going to fight. So again, if something has happened in your community, perhaps an area of forestry is going to be cut down, your council has decided that, you know, they're going to remove all of these trees, but you and your neighbours really love them. If you decide to protect that area of forestry, that means that you and your neighbours and your community are not taking the notice from the council lying down. You're going to fight against it and come together as a community. My next expression today is to be taken aback by something. This means that you are shocked or surprised because something is unexpected. So perhaps you're promoted at work and there are other people at the company who have more experience, or they have been at the company for longer than you. So you might be taken aback by this news. You really didn't expect to be the one promoted, and that can be a really good thing. Taken aback can also be used in a negative sense when you're shocked by some bad news perhaps as well, and maybe you said something and another person really misinterpreted it, or they took it in another way and they react badly, and you could be taken aback by that. You're surprised, you're shocked at a bad reaction to what you have said. Okay, the next expression, to take someone down a peg or two. This one basically means that you think someone is acting in a very sort of arrogant way, and you feel that they need to be sort of brought back down to earth a little bit. So they need to realise that they're not maybe as good or as important as they think they are. So perhaps this is something that happens in professional sports. The underdog team will go out and they will really play at their highest level because they want to take the other team down a peg or two. You know, this is the top team, they think they're the best, they're quite arrogant about it, and the underdog will decide, okay, we're going to take them down a peg or two. In day-to-day life, I would say this can be a little bit spiteful, because I don't understand why you would go around thinking, okay, I need to like bring this person down to earth. I need to, you know, make them less arrogant and bring them down to the level of everybody else. So it's not great in that regard, but unfortunately it does happen. And finally, my last expression today is to take something to the next level, and that means that something which is already very successful or at a great level, you decide, right, it's time to go to the next level. So perhaps if you're in a really good relationship, you're really happy, maybe moving in together would be taking your relationship to the next level, or getting married, or doing something like that. I think all of you are here on this video because you're taking your English to the next level. You know, you've got a good level, but you're looking at more unusual expressions that are going to help to push you to the next level. So I hope you've enjoyed my expressions. As always, please like and share this video, And if you have any comments or feedback, I will take them on board, I promise. So just leave them in the comments below. Thanks, bye.